This is from Ravi in Hyderabad, India. I think this story changed the way I look at responsibility and blame. It started with two stray cats who kept showing up outside my house every day, and I never imagined how emotionally involved I'd become with them. Every morning before work, I placed food near my front gate. Two stray cats waited there daily. At first, feeding them felt like a small, kind act, but soon it became part of my routine. I actually looked forward to seeing them every morning. One of the cats, who we named Joy, acted friendly and relaxed around us. He'd walk close, make small sounds, and brush against corners. I didn't understand why, but being near him made me feel calmer, like he trusted me even without words. The other cat was nothing like Joy. He was bigger, rough-looking, and tense. His eyes always looked angry and alert, and he barely came near us. I disliked him immediately, and I didn't put effort into trying to understand him back then. Joy started following me around the walkway near my house. He stayed close to my feet, looking up as if waiting for attention. I realized I enjoyed having him beside me. It felt strange, forming this connection with a stray animal I barely knew. Feeding both cats together became stressful. The bigger cat pushed Joy away and tried eating his food, so I separated their plates, placing Joy's near the door where he felt safe. It made me feel like I was protecting him in a small, simple way. Soon, Joy began sleeping near our front steps at night. I'd open the door in the early morning and see him curled into a small ball, waiting like he belonged there. Seeing him like that made me feel responsible for him, even without saying it aloud. One evening, Joy walked into our living room when the door was open. My wife laughed, but I froze. I panicked about him making a mess or causing problems, so I made him leave. Afterward, I felt guilty, like I had pushed away something harmless. Not long after, Joy returned with scratches on his body and a slight limp. The wounds looked fresh, and I immediately assumed the other cat caused them. Seeing him hurt made me angry. I wanted to help him, but I also wanted to push the other cat away. I cleaned Joy's wounds with warm water, trying to be gentle. He didn't fight or run, just stayed close and trusted me. Later that night, I saw the other cat watching from a distance, and my frustration toward him became stronger. I blamed him completely. As days passed, my feelings toward the bigger cat got worse. Every time I saw him near Joy, I felt irritated. I didn't want him around at all. I started watching the gate, just to make sure he didn't push Joy away again. My wife noticed how focused I had become on these cats. She told me I was getting too attached and warned me not to interfere too much. But I couldn't help it. Joy felt like a small part of my life now. The bigger cat attacked Joy more than once. Sometimes I found tufts of fur or marks on his back. Every new scratch made me angrier. I started calling the bigger cat names under my breath, blaming him for everything that went wrong. Despite the tension, Joy always returned. He'd sit outside our door and look up as if nothing bad had happened. His trust made me even more protective. I started wondering if I should bring him inside for good, even though I wasn't ready. I found myself thinking about adopting Joy officially. He clearly wanted to stay, and I liked having him around. But I hesitated. I worried about cost, responsibility, and whether I was overthinking something that started as a casual routine. Then one morning, Joy seemed weaker than usual. His movements were slower, and he barely touched his food. I grew worried. I tried petting him, and he didn't react the same way. Something felt wrong, though I didn't know what it was. The next day, Joy didn't show up at all. I waited longer than usual, constantly checking outside. Hours passed. I told myself he was probably nearby, but inside, I felt nervous. His absence didn't feel normal, and I couldn't shake the feeling. By the second day, I started walking around the neighborhood calling for him. I checked corners, steps, and alleys. Nothing. Not seeing him made me anxious. I kept thinking about all the times I should have done more for him before he disappeared. After a few days, I convinced myself the bigger cat had something to do with it. I couldn't prove anything, but the thought took over my mind. I felt angry, guilty, and helpless. My dislike toward the bigger cat turned into real blame. Fun fact: psychology studies show nearly 70% of people dealing with sudden loss direct anger towards someone who wasn't actually responsible, and around 80% admit they never talked about that misplaced blame with anyone. It's a very human reaction, not a personal failure. After Joy disappeared, everything outside my house felt different. I kept checking the gate every morning, hoping he'd magically be there again. Instead, the bigger cat sometimes showed up, and every time I saw him, my anger toward him felt heavier and harder to ignore. One evening, after several weeks, I saw the bigger cat again. He looked nothing like before. His fur was dusty, he limped badly, and he seemed exhausted. I could see bones through his skin. Seeing him like that shook me in a way I didn't expect. I didn't know what to do. A part of me still believed he hurt Joy, but looking at him now, injured and starving, made me feel something else, sadness maybe. It felt strange to hold both anger and sympathy toward the same animal at once. He started waiting outside quietly every day. No growling, no pushing, no aggression. He didn't run or demand anything. He just sat there, staring at the door, as if he had nowhere left to go. My anger slowly turned into uncertainty. My wife told me he looked desperate and suggested giving him some food. My first reaction was to refuse. I still blamed him. But later that night, I wondered if refusing would make me just as cruel as I believed he had been. Eventually, I placed food near the steps. He dragged himself forward slowly and ate in tiny bites, as if chewing hurt. There was no aggression at all. For the first time, I realized I knew almost nothing about what this cat had been through. Over the next few days, he came back regularly. His behavior was completely different. His eyes looked tired, not angry. He didn't fight, didn't chase anything, and didn't bother anyone. That's when I started wondering if I had judged him unfairly the whole time. I gave him a name, Scar. It felt right. He had marks and wounds all over, and something about him seemed permanently damaged. Naming him made everything feel more real. He wasn't just the other cat anymore. He was someone I finally saw clearly. Feeding Scar became routine. He began rubbing against the gate the same way Joy used to. It surprised me how quickly I felt connected to him. I still miss Joy deeply, but Scar filled a strange quiet space I didn't know existed before. I started to understand something important. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. I still felt hurt about Joy disappearing, but I also saw Scar differently now. Maybe he wasn't the villain I imagined. Maybe he was just doing his best to survive, like anyone else. Sometimes at night, I still wonder what really happened to Joy. I don't know if he'll ever come back, and if he does, I have no idea what that will mean for Scar. I'm learning to live with those unanswered questions. Thank you for listening to this story. If anything in it reminded you of your own life, misunderstandings, unfair blame, or unexpected second chances, please share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more real stories like this, consider liking and subscribing.